I'm a medical doctor, and I spent 23 years of my life in Africa. That was in Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Botswana, from there I came here. In my practice in Africa, there's no counseling. It was only chemical treatment, drugs. That's all. And in fact, we never even felt there was a need for counseling. Number one, there's no time. Number two, there's no need. I never felt it. The reason is, I come from India, and I worked in Africa, and I found a similarity between these two continents, these two communities. The reason that there was no need for counseling was that the very strong family connection that was in India and same in Africa, extended family system. And people used to look after each other. There was no me and my life. It was everybody's life. And you might have heard, it takes a village to raise a child. And that was true in Africa. And it used to be true in India also, not now. So there was no me, my life. It was the life of the whole community as such. So when there is a problem, the community used to help each other. The problems which we face here in this part are totally different from which we faced in Africa. When I came here, I saw that all those communities which immigrated from India and Africa, their cultural values got eroded. There are positive points in agriculture, but we as human beings are very ready to take the negative points and forget the positive points of our own culture also, and not to take the positive points from other cultures also. When they come here, the life is me and my life, not my husband's life or my wife's life, not my parents' life or my children's life. Me comes first. What is me? When I say me, it's my ego. It's my ego. Not other person's point of view, my ego. So when my ego comes, that raises all the problems in the life. All stresses of life are because of my ego. What about my life? I was looking after the whole family when I was in Africa, when I was in India. I was earning, she was earning, joint account, we used to look after everything. We come here, now it's my money. Not the husband's money, now it's my money. I used to buy things collectively. Now, why should I ask him, me, my ego? Why should I ask him? I can go and buy. I'm also earning. Why? There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in it. The wrong is in the attitude, the way it is implemented. So when I came here, I thought there is a need for counseling. But in our community, especially, I won't say in my community, it's all the immigrant community. You know, they have got their own values, and many of them don't accept the Western cultural values and Western ways of counseling. So I thought I have to devise a way with which I can help the South Asian community. And then I thought, which is the best way? The Sikh way of life, and it's the Hindus and Muslims also the same. Most of it is the same, but I'll go with the Sikh because I'm the Sikh. Everything of my life comes from the Sikh perspective. That the way of life in our religion teaches us everything. So why not to incorporate this into the counseling? And people's health issues are very religious. So once we put a religion into it, spirituality into it, and they started accepting it, and I started getting very good results. And I ended up devising this model and ended up presenting this one in 2 international conferences, got it published in the medical journal, and Jennifer started calling me here. And just now, before we start, few pictures from Africa. Do you see the pole? The pole is, I think the pole is already there when they started constructing the road. I don't know how they done with it. I was seeing this special of the month. Now, these 2 things were for the laugh. The rest are to learn. Laugh and learn also. Will you see anybody carrying the goat like this? No, there will be a truck carrying it. You know? Do you see somebody swimming pool painting like this? Here? Nothing. It happened. And when your computer or your any electronics go off, you want help 188-800, where your call goes? To India. And but it works. But it works. What I'm trying to show is that when we see people from other cultures here trying to resolve their problems in their own way, we do not help them. Because it is new to them, but it works. It may not be perfect, but it works. So there is a need for us, all of us, to learn from each other and incorporate that learning into our practices. Rather than saying that only my ways work, only Western ways work. It's better to learn from everyone and incorporate. And it has worked with me, with my clients. Now, if you don't, then your patients will land in the hands of the psychiatrists. I think you are not psychiatrists, you are counselors. Am I? Master of counseling. So many of the problems you can solve by giving counseling and a bit of help from the GP with the medication, but most of it can be helped. But if you don't, this is what will happen. They will land with the psychiatrists. This man is obviously delusional. He thinks he should have a decent job and a good car like us. And as you can see, his violent resistance to being forcibly injected with a cocktail of psychotropic drugs, he is psychotic. And give him 16 of these tablets, still won't feel better about him. Now, he himself doesn't know where is he going. So try to be away as much as you can. Now, what is mental health? Let's go to it. Mental health is a state of well-being characterized by continuing personal growth, a sense of purpose in life, self-acceptance, very important. When the immigrant communities come here, self-acceptance of them, rather than them feeling that they are zero or negative here, and positive relations with others. They are very important, positive relations. The ability to maintain a balance between positive and negative emotions. Factors affecting mental health. Environmental factors, social relations. There are no social relations in this part of the world. From where I come, social relationships is everything. Here, friends are only to drink coffee, to have parties, but when you need them, no. Husband, wife, children, parents, no deep social relationships. Work. When you start work, you will know how much stress is there at work. And community life, it doesn't exist. And which is main everything in India and in Africa. Another important factor, that is stress. In fact, all those things which I told causes stress. But otherwise, stress, it has been proved now, causes all the physical and mental problems. It reduces immunity, it causes cancer, it causes everything and everything. And social support from friends. Is there any social support from friends? Negligent. From family members, negligent. So teaching people coping skills before the adversity comes, before the crisis comes. We can help in improving the mental health. And this is what we are going to see today. So prevention is better than cure. We will try to prevent the mental health problems before they come. So according to WHO, the health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. And here it is. Equilateral triangle where medical science, social science and spiritual science must work together. If we continue giving medicine, but there is no social help, no spiritual help, difficult. And if there is only social help, there is no medicine, that also is difficult. Medicine is needed. Role of religion and spirituality. This thing, if 20 years ago, especially in the Western world, this question was asked, the doctors would be raising their eyebrows. What are you talking about? Medicine is medicine. Where the religion and spirituality comes. But now, it is a subject in USA, in the medical schools. But in India and in Africa, we have been practicing religion and spirituality in mental health or in physical health from the time immemorial. Various studies have shown that those clients receiving religious and spiritual psychotherapy showed more improvement than those who got only psychotherapy and drugs only. And a study done on the severely mentally ill and chemically dependent inpatients showed that they valued spiritual help, but the nursing staff ignored it. But I don't know, even any one of you have ever asked your clients or even those practicing today ask about their spiritual values to the clients. I don't think so. But it is a very touchy subject. One has to know it really properly before they touch the spiritual and the religious aspect with the clients. My professor of medicine in Delhi, Professor Hari Vaishnav, used to say 40 years ago when I graduated, this December we are going to celebrate our reunion, 40 years reunion in Delhi. And he used to say at that time, I am only giving the medication. He is the one who is curing you. So when you take the tablet, say Ram, say Allah, say Jesus, whatever God you believe in, he is the one who is going to cure you. I am only giving the medication. So what is spirituality? Does anybody know what spirituality is? Anyone?
Someone's belief of something outside of themselves.
Anybody else? Or what is the difference between religion and spirituality? Anyone?
I conceptualize. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking spirituality is kind of more personal, where religion is kind of like a broad set of values and beliefs that are shared amongst a very possible religion.
Yes.
I was going to say, similar to that, that spirituality is, or religion is a kind of an organization, kind of a human organization of a spiritual connection or a connection with a higher power that is found among a bunch of people.
Yes. What I normally say is, religion has divided people from the time immemorial. Religion has killed millions and billions of people from the time immemorial. In the name of God, people have been killed by the religious people. Spirituality joins the people. Spirituality doesn't come from any religion, though we can get some of the messages from the religions. And when I started studying spirituality, I found that in fact almost all the religions teach the same spirituality. But our spiritual leaders, so-called priests, don't tell us for their own reasons. They try to divide us by saying my God is better than your God, my religion is better than your religion, but spirituality joins us. So what spirituality is? Spirituality is not how we worship the God, it is not the rituals, it is the good deeds, and it is a positive attitude. And attitude is the one which matters the most. Lack of money, poverty, is not that it is giving me unhappiness. It can give me happiness if my attitude is good. Even if I am sick, if my attitude is positive, I can be happy. As I am happy today, I will be happy tomorrow. If I get a cancer, that is attitude. But if my attitude is negative, as soon as I come to know that I got a cancer, I will start dying. So it is an attitude and it is a good deeds. I'll prove it later on in my life. So what is a joyful or blissful state? The real happiness comes from within, not from the external sources. External sources are, today there is this laptop, tomorrow there is another one which is coming, I must get it. Today there is this iPhone, tomorrow there is that smartphone coming, I must get it. Today I see young girl with skin and bones only on the TV modeling, I want to become like that one. I see designer clothes wearing, I must wear those. That way we feel ourselves to be in a relative poverty, though we are not poor, but they are a relative poverty because I can't get them. That gives me stress. That doesn't give me, but we are bombarded every day in the TV, in our flyers, at our homes. Buy this thing, it will make your life easy, happy, but in fact that makes life miserable because we can't get them. To get them, then it is me and my money. Why should I ask my husband? I must do 2 to 3 jobs to get them. I don't care about my family, I care about my money only. For that, I must do some drug business so that I can get quick money. That's what happens. So, at blissful state, happiness comes from within, not from external sources. We'll see it later on in the presentation. Here it is. Life expectancy, that is 2010. Japan, Hong Kong, Canada comes number 8. USA is 38. Satisfaction in the life index, Denmark, Switzerland, Bhutan, Canada is number 10, USA is 23. Then there is something called Happy Planet Index, that is life expectancy in years multiplied by life satisfaction divided by ecological traits, and you will be surprised which countries are happiest in this planet. Costa Rica, Vietnam, Colombia, Belize, there is nowhere USA and Canada. 9 out of the 10 top countries are located in Kala, despite high level of poverty. Among top 40 countries, overall HPI score with GDP nearing $15,000, Israel is the first one, that is number 15. among the top 5 world economies, which country comes first? 46th is Germany. 45th is Japan. USA is one of the 5. Happy planet. That shows that money is not everything, it is your attitude towards life. I'll give you a small example. When I was in Africa, what I saw, there are 4 people sitting, sharing their meals. They call shima. It's a corn flour and with vegetables or meat. They put it in the center. Everybody eats. Somebody comes, they even don't know him. He will come, that's good morning, hello. And he will sit down, start talking, and sharing the food. He's hungry, he's eating, sharing, they're happy. Local brew, they buy in a can, 4-liter can. They are drinking, taking one sip, giving to other. Somebody comes, sits down, start talking, and start taking the cup. Can it happen here in this so-called developed world with everything we have? Can anybody come and sit with you in the pub when you're drinking and take a beer and start drinking? No. Can somebody come to your home without informing you? And first thing the wife will ask, did he phone that he's coming? Did he phone? Don't ask him for lunch. I'm not going to make lunch. Though the fridge is full. The fridge is full. I'll make tea, okay? Go and buy some samosas. Don't ask him for lunch, for food. You see how it is. That we are in a relative poverty. In Africa, where they are happiest, they don't know what is iPhone, which iPhone is coming today, which smartphone is coming today. Whatever they have, they're happy with that, they're satisfied and they're contented with that. And they're happy. More we are bombarded with all this information, with all this technology, we get more miserable and more unhappy. This is what I use a lot in my counseling. That be happy with whatever you have. Get into your family relations first. Not me and my life. Everybody's life matters. When everybody's life matters, we all feel happy. So, in a blissful state, one is healthy, one is successful, and one have got good relations with everyone. But we try to be the other way around. We try that let me be healthy, let me work hard and get more successful, let me have a beautiful wife and a handsome husband. I'll be blessed. No, you're not blessed like that. You have to get your blissful state from within first. And once you are blessed, then naturally everything will fall in place. So what is Sikhism? This is the map of India. And this is the state of Punjab. It used to be all this when British took over, but then it became only this these days. So what Sikhism is? Sikh means a disciple, a student. And the prophet is called Guru, that means a teacher. So it is a teacher-student relationship. That means asking questions to the teacher and teacher replying to it, not just following the teacher. There are 10 gurus, and the first Guru Nanak founded Sikhism in 1469, and his first sermon in 1499 was, no one is a Hindu or Muslim. There were two big religions at that time in India. Everyone is a child of God. So we are all equal. That was the human rights started at that time in 1499. It's your deeds which make you great, not your religion. believe in the brotherhood of mankind and fatherhood of God. If we believe in the brotherhood of mankind, that all mankind are brothers, there will be no fights, there will be no wars, there will be no terrorist attacks, and there will be no mental health problems attached with that. Because we are all brothers, all the men's names will be same. That means lion, and all women's names will be core, that is princess, and believe in one God only. Whichever religion you believe in, God is only one. He is a God of grace. He is not a God that who punishes you, that if you do this thing, you will go to hell, if you do this thing, you will be punished like that. He is a father, and father never punishes their children. Believe in karma. What is karma, by the way? Do you know what is karma? We hear this word a lot every day, you know, karma. Karma is, if I do a good deed, I get the result of that deed back to me. If I sow wheat, I cannot reap mangoes out of it. Whatever I sow, I reap. If I came here drinking, I will be caught on the way. I will get the result of that one now. I'll have an accident there. I have the result of that one now. That is my karma. Not that my karma, what I did in my previous life, now at this time. And I get the result. Then and then. I use these things a lot in my counseling. They don't say I'm suffering because I did something in my past life. No. You are suffering because you are doing something now and you are not realizing it. Change your attitude. Don't believe in rituals and caste system. Don't drink alcohol and smoke tobacco. 500 years ago, it was told. Today the whole world is saying not to drink. The holy book is called Guru Granth Sahib. Surprised? It contains teachings of Hindus and Muslim women also. So the teachings, it contains only teachings, no stories. The 5 symbols, there is kesh, uncut hair, and beard turban, because every human being is born with hair. That is natural. So we have got no power, we should not play with the nature. A comb, kanga, to keep the hair clean, and catch a special shot for our truthful character, which is most important in our life, and a kala is steel bracelet, representing new universe has no beginning and no end, and a sword to protect the oppressed from the oppressor. This I use a lot in my counseling also, that you have to protect yourself, especially in the family relationships, in the domestic violence, where woman is being oppressed by the husband. The woman, you have to stand up. It's your right to stand up. This is Kala, this is the Kirpan, and this is how the comb looks like. The Sikh Gurus always preach that outward appearance, that there is wearing of these 5 symbols, is of no importance unless they are accompanied by true, sincere devotion and ethics, which are very, very important. Gender equality. Religion and mental health. This book was written by Bridges, and he wrote that the majority of world religions have placed women in a secondary position to men, which has been a major cause of conflict, frustration, stress, and mental disorder among women. If you remember, in Christianity, long time ago, that witch hunt, that was to put the woman down. In India, called Sati, the woman when the husband dies, she had to get into the fire for the husbands and kill herself or die along with the husband. Sikh Gurus conferred dignity to women, raised their status in the society, and considered them equal to men. I use these words in sentence in my counseling in domestic violence. To remind the men and to remind the women. Women's rights movement in US. In Colorado, women got to vote in 1893. 1500s, when Sikh gurus raised the flag that women should have equal rights. So marriage and morality. Extramarital relations and broken marriages are cause of many mental health problems. You all know about that, you don't have to get into details. Gurus laid a great emphasis on the moral character of both man and woman. Sikhism does not believe that mental illness are caused by spirit possession and violations of some religious principles. But still, there are exorcisms done in India. People go to take baths in the holy waters, in the holy rivers, and do all these rituals. But I use this one with my clients, that what you are doing has got no value. And the third guru treated sick in the hospital, fifth guru looked after lepers, and eighth guru treated smallpox patients, and the 10th guru, Gobind Singh, applauded Bhai Kalija, who started concept of modern day Red Cross. At that time, I little bit more background in this one, that Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th guru, took the sword to protect Hindus at that time from being forcibly converted into Islam by the then Mughal Emperor, and he fought many wars for that. And in one of the wars, one of his disciples, in the evening, those days there was no war at night, so war used to stop. So he will go and give water to everybody, even to the enemy and to the Sikhs also. So the Sikhs went and complained to Guru Gobind Singh that, look, he's our man and he's giving water to the enemy also, and whatever we are doing, he's undoing. So the Guru called him and said, why, what are you doing? There is a complaint about you. And he said, look, this is your teaching, Guru, that God resides in everyone. We are all children of God. We are all equal. The fight we are fighting is the fight of principles, not cruelty to the man. So when they are fallen down, I see God in them. So I go and give water to everybody. So he said, okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Here is the ointment. When you give them water, put the ointment also on their wounds. Therefore, the Red Cross started at that time. Theory of creativity. The Big Bang theory came in 1930s, and different religions have got different ways of saying how this universe came. But according to Sikhism, there was all darkness, there was no earth, there was no sky, there was no day, there was no night, and then there was only God, and the God created sound, that is the Big Bang. From that sound came the gas, the air, and from there came the water, and the first living being came from the water. And human being is the most evolved of those creations, and there are endless creatures on the earth, on the sky, and in the water. And there are 4 ways where the living beings are created here: from the womb, from the earth, from the sweat, and from the eggs. It all goes with the science, but it was written 500 years ago, in 1500s, and Big Bang theory came in 1930s. And how the human being is born, through the union of mother and father, the fetus is formed, the egg and sperm join together to make the body. Ups and down within the womb, it lovingly dwells on the Lord. This is how it was written 500 years ago. And we are made of 5 elements, and when we die, the 5 elements remain here on the earth. Now, psychology based on Sikhism. The concept of Maya. Maya is a term used for the temporal world and human attachment to it, called worldly attachment. This all what we see in worldly attachment. Everything. Our relations of the TVs, computers, whatever we see is a worldly attachment. And Sikhs believe that this is Maya is a universe created by the God for us to enjoy. However, too much attachment to Maya is not good. I use this a lot in my counseling. We have the power to discriminate between good and bad. We don't say that it is written in my fate, I can't do anything. It's not a fate. We have the power to change our fate. That is the only thing, only difference between animals and human beings. Animals can do the same things which a human being can do. Everything. Make places to live, look after the children, produce children, care for the children, everything. The only thing is that they have got no choice, but in man, human being has got a choice and can decide between bad and good. So if we get attached to this Maya, this worldly attachment, and suffer, it's not God's fault, it's our fault. So we should live in this world of Maya like a lotus flower, that we should get from this Maya, this worldly attachment, everything we want to, use it. They should not use us, we should use this, everything which is around us, and give our fragrance around in the world. But if we get attached to the Maya, then we want to get more of this, more of this, more of this, and we forget everything, our relationships and everything. I use this thing a lot in my with my patients. So the spirit of the human being is raised with the belief that one is not a helpless creature, but a responsible being having a will of one's own, which can do a lot to shape one's destiny. And the purpose of Sikh worship is to praise God, develop the spirituality of the individual and the community. That is very, very important, irrespective of their religious affiliations. There are 5 evils in Sikhism. Kam, that is lust; Krodh, that is anger; Lobh, that is greed; Moh, that is attachment; Ahankar, that is pride. Lust, we need sex to produce, to reproduce, in part of our life. But when it becomes lust, the lust is when I look at another beautiful woman, I get sexual feelings. I want to get her. She sees another man, gets lust, wants to get him. Forget about their own relationship in that with husband and wife. That's called lust. That's when the problems come. That's when the rapes come. Anger. I think we all are angry most of the time. I don't think so we can control it. But the more we control it, the better it is. Greed. Need. There is a difference between need and between the greed. I need a laptop for my presentation, that's my need. My greed is that I must get the latest laptop, fast, thin. That's my greed. I do not need a cell phone, I don't have it because I don't need it. Greed is, though I don't need it, I must have the latest smartphone, though I even don't know how to use it. And to get that, then I will have to do 2 to 3 jobs. Forget about my family, try to get the quick money, deal with drugs. That's greed. More is attachment. Loving your children, loving your spouse, loving everything around you is good. So long it is loving them. But when you get attached, possession, that's bad. If my wife cannot live with me and she wants to divorce me, and I am attached, I am possessed, she is my possession, she cannot. That's when the murders come. That's when the mass murders come, killing the relatives, also you have seen many of them happening around. That is attachment. And pride, we have talked about it, that me and my life, the ego. So what is spiritual liberation? Home is a great disease. What is home? That is the ego. Everything goes with the ego. If we can control ego, ego affects our relationships. Ego-bound individuals get stress and mental health problems. Learning to control ego can affect our mental health. In fact, it gives us the blissful state. Humility is a positive effect to control ego. If I am humble, ego will not affect me. If my wife says, me and my money, I don't have to ask you. I'm in a society like this one. I didn't know this thing before. Now I have learned after coming to Canada. If I also get ego, she has got ego. If I also get ego, two egos conflict, it will burst. And you know what will happen. But if I am humble, I accept it, keep quiet, will be no problem. So one have to get humble. So humility is a weapon, and those people who are truly humble, they are called gurmukhs, and those who are proud people, they are called mangukhs, and they are always unhappy. So the material conception of life enables us to find fault with others by ignoring our own. This is very, very important. Why did my wife start me and my money? I have to ask myself, what's happening? If I've got a problem at work with my colleagues, I have to find out what's happening. Is there a problem with me? If I look into me and find a problem and try to resolve it with my humbleness, the problem will go away. So finding the fault with yourself, not with the others. That is humbleness. True humility is recognition of one's own imperfections. So true humility is living with love, contented, free of arrogant pride and ego. That is true humility. Humility does not mean one should not assert one's rights and let others walk all over you. Jesus Christ was the most humble person I have ever heard of in the Western world. But then, what happened? He got crucified. Humility teaches equality, not manipulation. If I am humble, that does not mean that my wife can manipulate me all the time, thinking that I was scared of her, of the society, or of the law, so I can manipulate him. It teaches equality. Spiritual liberation is to liberate oneself from ego. The one which I was talking, I use that one a lot in with my patients, especially in domestic violence. So there are 5 evils and there are 5 virtues in Sikhism. Truthful life. If I am truthful with my wife and say, yes, I agree why you are doing this thing, I will not take. I'm sorry what I did. I'm truthful. If I'm caught doing something wrong in my office and my boss catches me, I'm sorry I did it. Be truthful. And try not to do that again. That makes life very happy. Contented. I'm contented with whatever I have. Like in Africa, people are. They're very happy. But that does not mean that we should not try to get more. That is by hard work. Study more, getting more degrees, more education, trying to get more, but be contented at that time, whatever you have, because you cannot buy more, because you don't have more. So contentment in life, patience. How many of us we have patience? No, not at all. Not at all. And perfect faith in the God or in yourself. In fact, the faith in yourself is much more important. And the compassion. This is what I use a lot with my patients. In our culture, there are so many problems. I think that is with every culture, with the in-laws and daughter-in-law and mother-in-law and all those problems which cause. Now I have my hand is up. Now I'm going to teach her, my mother-in-law, because she has come from India and she has come to my house. Now I'm going to teach her. So I use these words, compassion, and not with them. Meditation. Wellness and Benson have done a lot of research on meditation, and they have written books also. They showed that electroencephalogram showed an increase in alpha wave activity, indicating greater tranquility of mind. Those people who do meditation. Decrease in the heart rate, 20% decrease in oxygen consumption, and diminished effects of epinephrine and other stress-related hormones. It helps a lot. They say if you do 20 minutes of meditation a day, it helps a lot. In Sikhism, meditation is not done to gain control over these involuntary vital body functions. For 20 minutes only. Meditation is living every moment of your life as a truthful spiritual being. Be truthful to yourself, be truthful to others. That is the meditation, 24 hours with every breath. In this, one achieves a super conscious and blissful state in which one finds oneself close to or one with God. And Benson has written a book, Timeless Healing, and in which he wrote that those people who go beyond meditation into the realm of spirituality report that they sense closeness to God while meditating. Such people had better health and more rapid recoveries. So spiritual meditation has the effect of personal improved health, self-respect, confidence, and one becomes friendlier, honest, and loving. And with the work, one becomes capable of taking decisions with greater clarity and takes on more responsibilities. The work becomes enjoyable and relations with others become friendly. So the concept of Sikhism, kirat karna, that is honest living. I think this is with all the religions. I don't see any religions, yes. And I use this one a lot. One sakana, that is sharing with others. It is in every religion. That's why I say that when I present anywhere that these things you can use with all the cultures, with all the communities, not only with the Sikhs. And Ram Japna, that is living a truthful spiritual life. Mind. Whatever we have talked is all related to the mind. That if you can control your mind from wandering away, getting into problems, getting into untruthful life, the life will be blissful. If you can control your mind, and they say victory over self, that is victory over mind, is victory over the world. Few words about negative thinking. The example I normally give is from a jungle, from a forest, there are millions of trees. From one tree, we can get millions of matchsticks. But one matchstick a bird can destroy the whole forest. One negative thinking, it starts a cycle. My patients normally say it's like a cassette in the brain, and it's going and going and going, and I can't stop it. So one negative thought starts the cycle. It can destroy you, your family, and your community. So always be positive, jealous. We're always very jealous. Her boyfriend is very good, his girlfriend is very good, and they try to do something between them. He got this new smartphone, you not. We're jealous of each other very much. Jealous is good in the way, jealous is very good in the way that we also try to get those things by our honest means. But when jealous becomes to destroy others, that is called pathological jealousy. And worry, you all worry about everything for more reasons at all. I don't want to go into that. And that helps. There's a major cause of our mental health problems. Hope. Hope is the mother of invention. It is good to hope. People hope that I am sitting here, I must see what's happening on the moon. And we went on the moon. People hope that I'm sitting here, I should talk to my friends in India. Telephone was invented. I should send a letter goes there in 7 days' time. It should go fast. Emails came. It was like this. Hope. There is nothing bad, wrong in hoping more and more and more and more. But when it becomes expectation, that I expect this thing from my family, I expect this thing from my wife, I expect this thing from my husband, I expect this thing from my children, and those expectations are not fulfilled, that's when it affects the heart. Then when the heart attacks come, mental health problems come, stress comes. So long it is a hope, it is good. When it becomes expectation, that is bad. I use this thing a lot in my counseling. The Sikh model of counseling, I don't know how much time I got.
We can be a little bit flexible, so we'll go there too.
Okay, yeah. The Sikh model of counseling, I wrote a hexagon, not a circle. Circle is going very smoothly, but here there are obstacles at every point. Ego is the main cause of our problems, stress. Whatever you do, whatever you say, there is ego involved. Self-realization. This is my first sitting is only to explain ego. Second sitting is to make the person realize that ego is affecting. When they come to a second sitting, I discuss with them, did you think about it? Did you discuss with it with your family? Self-realization. And see the weaknesses, that calm, krodh, lobh, moh, ahankar. Which one of these is affecting you at this time? Lust, or it is worry, or it is pride, it is attachment. What is affecting you? We discuss this one. And then the fourth sitting is how to counter that one, being humble, being humility. And with that, to develop those 5 virtues. And the last sitting is to discuss the spiritual liberation. Though in these 6 sittings, people get the idea of it, but they have to work on this one, and it takes longer than that. But normally I finish in my 6 sittings, and this thing has helped a lot in that. So, it took the contribution of 10 gurus, 239 years to the spiritual, social, and idealized religious formation of the Sikh, called the same soldier, the soldier of God. Same soldiers are brave, strong as lions, fearing none except the God, and instilling fear in none. That is the concept of saint soldier. It is a very strange concept in this part of the world, that where is a saint and where is a soldier. But if the weapon is given in the hands of a saint, that weapon will not be used to torture, will not be used to kill, and will not be used to gain money and power. So that means if our leaders are saints also, saintly also, there will be no world wars, there will be no terrorist attacks these days. The saint will use the weapon to protect the oppressed from the oppressor, and not use it for oppression, which is the basic Sikh tenet. So war should be waged without hatred for the enemy or any desire or any revenge. Territory should not be annexed. Looting and looting be forbidden. And the women should not be violated by the winning party. So, if this type of war is waged, if our leaders are also saint soldiers, all these mental health problems in the world which we are facing with the wars, with the terrorist attacks, can be prevented. If my Prime Minister says I am a Christian, and when he wages war, he will have to answer what Christianity teaches. No killing. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt love thy neighbor. Very good. But if he is not a Christian, then the war will be waged. Why did this thing to us? We must do something. This is what is happening today all over the world. So it's a way of life that is based on right conduct and moral values, which ensures peace of mind in all circumstances, and it is a spiritual science and moral hygiene that cures the mind of tensions and worries. And this is the end. This is the picture I took when we went to Mexico, Los Cabos. And this is a fish made of driftwood, and this is my beautiful wife standing. I have to tell her beautiful, otherwise you know what will happen when I get out of this class. And the writing is very good. The wood is a symbol of time, of transformation, of drifting. We do not know our point of arrival, and we lose sight of our point of departure. We don't know when we're going to die. So, in between, we should try to help ourselves and help each other. That's spirituality.